Happy Thursday, everybody. Thank you so much for downloading or streaming the Be Our Guest podcast. We've got a great show for you today. It's the live show from this past Sunday night, February 25th, 2024. Scotty G was unavailable to join us as he was running Uber for his dad back and forth from the airport. But no worries. We got some great calls, and we actually had a situation where we're helping one of our listeners with a question, and we had so many thoughts on this. So here was the question, and then you can ponder it and maybe give us some feedback over on our Discord server, which we're going to talk about at the end of the show. So don't go anywhere. Stay there till the end of the show so you can hear about our Discord server. But listener Kim wants to know, would you stay, these are the same price, Coronado Springs club level at the Grandestino Tower or Garden Wing over at the Contemporary, because they are going to go to the Magic Kingdom and Epcot, and she has a mother traveling with her who wants to take midday breaks. So which one would you pick and why? We also get a great call about Disney Wish cruise last week. Neil Patrick Harris was on that cruise. How cool is that? We also get a couple of calls about the Princess Half Marathon weekend experiences just from this past weekend, from today as we're taking the calls. So lots of fun on today's show. So get ready to have some fun Disney talk. Shows today brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. Check out all the details for no additional cost to you. We'll plan a great vacation. You'll get the best deal out there again over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. BeOurGuestPodcast.com/Amazon. And please support us on Patreon. And thank you so very much to our patrons. You guys are Club BOGP, and we appreciate you so very much. If you support us starting at just $5 per month, you get a bonus show every single week called Mike in the Midwest. So come on over. We'd love to have you. Patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast.
Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the BOGP Open Line for Sunday night, February 25th, 2024. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com. And I'm your only host tonight because Scotty G is running an Uber. So he's not going to be here. So it's going to be you and me on the phones at 407-413-9395. 407-413-9395. Of course, you can always find me at BeOurGuestPodcast.com, at BeOurGuestMike on the socials. And of course, I'm one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Loving helping you plan great Disney vacations throughout the week. But we're going to have a great time tonight talking Disney. So thanks for carving out some time over the next hour to talk Disney with me and throughout the week. We have shows Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays for your listening pleasure. You know that because we are coming up on 16 years of podcasting in just about 2.5 weeks. So thank you for your support and allowing us to do that. So we're going to have a good time celebrating that here shortly with Pam, Ricky, and Scott. But tonight, I'm going to be taking your calls. I see 2 coming in, but hang on tight because I got to have an intro because I have actually 3 coming in. The board is filling up. I love that, but hang tight because I had an email from a listener, actually from one of my guests over at the Magic for Less, who had a question reaching out to me. And they had this, you know, I'm a travel professional. This is what I do. I've been named by the Unofficial Guide as one of the top 10 travel agents in the Disney universe for the last 10 years or so. I don't even keep track. But and I'm not bragging, but this is just the deal. Like, I get a lot of emails from people that find my name in the Unofficial Guide. So they expect advice. And there's so many times where I say, thank you for reaching out to me at the Magic for Less, but I don't know the answer to this question. Okay, so here was the question, and it just came in about 15 minutes ago, and I said, here's the deal. I'm going live with a bunch of our listeners who are Disney experts, probably know more about Disney than I do. They're passionate Disney fans like I am. And I'm going to throw this question out to our listeners, and we're going to crowdsource your question because I don't know the answer because it's an opinion piece. All right, so we're going to go to this question, and I need you to put it in the chat. And I need you to call and give me your reasoning to this because there's no wrong answer. But here's the question. And then I'm going to take your calls. We could talk about Princess. We could talk about the crazy crowds that were down at Walt Disney World over President's Day weekend. Holy cow. We could talk about how close Tiana's Bayou Adventure is getting there, man. The logs are coming down. It's crazy. But we got a lot. You can talk about whatever you want, so I don't have to set you up. Cruise line, I'm ready to cruise. We cruise on July 6th. I'm ready to get on the ship now. But here's the question. Okay, so it's from listener Kim, let's say. And here's the deal. She says, I'm considering making a change to my trip. She's going in December. Okay, she's going in December, so you have a little background here. Everybody pay attention. Get your notepad out. She's looking at the pricing, and it's about the same for both scenarios. Okay, so you get your pencil out. Okay, about the same pricing. She noticed a garden room. Sorry, I can't talk tonight, and that's hard when you're doing a podcast. A garden wing room at the Contemporary is very close in price to what she's currently paying for a club level room at Coronado Springs in the Grand Destino Tower. Okay, so there's your two things. Club level, Coronado Springs in the tower, of course, or garden wing at the Contemporary. Early first week of December. Now here we go. She says, I understand the club level includes more perks. However, I'm considering if the transportation at the Contemporary outweighs the club level access and food provided at Coronado Springs. She's going with her mom, who is 67, and they're going to go back and take breaks during the day. They're definitely doing a day at the Magic Kingdom and a day at Epcot, and it might be nice to have the convenience of being able to take the monorail. Even though food is included at the club level, I'm guessing that we'd still want to supplement the snacks and hors d'oeuvres that are provided. So she wants to know, Mike, what should I do? So I said, I don't know. I said, really, here's what I emailed back. I said, first, I'm going to ask our listeners because they're very bright and they'll have opinions. Then I said, Coronado gets rave reviews of its club level. Pam Forrester loves the club level at Coronado. People that go there and stay there and come back rave about this experience. Disney did a really bang up job with Coronado in the Grand Destino Tower. However, if your mother has mobility issues, there's something to be said for the ease of access to the Magic Kingdom and to Epcot with the monorail. But if you can take the bus, and the bus service isn't bad at Coronado, it's going to feel more deluxe staying club level at Coronado. That Grand Destino Tower is amazing. So that's what I said. That was the base answer that I had. So I'm going to put this out there, and I see some answers coming in because I wanted to listen to today's show. George says Coronado all day. Robert says, if you drink, take the club level. Otherwise, go to the garden wing at the Contemporary. Ashley says, we just stayed at Garden Wing last week. The Incredibles theme was great. We're going all, see, we're not helping. You guys are just like Pam, Ricky, and I. We always go like right down the middle. Thomas says, club level all day long, especially if you're planning plenty of time at the resort. It's great for breakfast if you don't plan on rope dropping. Then Kevin comes in and says, Garden Wing at the Contemporary, convenience of transportation trumps all other considerations. And, oh, good point here, though. Kevin comes with another point for you to consider that Kim didn't even have on the table. If you go with the Contemporary, you get extra evening hours because now you're staying at a deluxe resort. Oh, okay, now we're making this to another level. This is why I love you guys. You just throw in other things that we weren't even thinking about. Rob over on YouTube. With her mom and the breaks, it has to be the Contemporary. See, Rob, you're a good son. You're thinking about your mom. I love that. And then finally, we're going to get to the phone lines here. Depends on the travel plan. Would be very difficult to pass up the club level benefit. Use the bus service from Coronado and stay there. Okay. All right. So we got some answers there. Let's get to the phone lines at 407-413-9395. We have our first caller of the night. This is Mike. And who is this? Hello,
hey,
Colin.
Mike, it's Kevin.
Hey, Kevin. Thanks for calling in. You're down in the ATL, as I recall, correct?
That's right. Originally from Pennsylvania, but down in Atlanta.
I appreciate you calling in. How's the weekend going?
Yeah, man. So far, so good. You know, we just came off of the Wish last weekend, so, you know, tough getting back into the swing of things this week. And I just wanted to give a little mini trip report and tell that story about meeting a relative of mine on the ship.
Absolutely. Let's go for it. We've got a lot of them. We've got a lot of calls tonight. So I want to get, my goal is to get so many calls in tonight. Since Scott's not here, it's going to be all calls all day. Let's go.
I love it. So so we had 14 of us on this Wish this past weekend, from the 16th to the 19th. We were there over President's Weekend, and before the trip, we had gotten in Castaway Cay. I got 11 of us on the glass bottom boat reservation. So I couldn't get 3 people on. Another member of our party got 5 for the 2:15 sailing. I got ours for the 11 o'clock sailing. So wanted us all to kind of do an activity together. And so when I went, every cruise has their Facebook page. So I went on the Facebook page of our specific cruise, and I said, hey, we're just looking to try to swap out some for another one. And a guest on the ship saw my request and said, hey, I got 3 for the 2:15 or for the 11 o'clock. I'd be happy to switch for the 2 o'clock. I said, great. We set a time up. I dropped it. She dropped it. We switched. In the meantime, I went and I looked on her Facebook page and saw that her last name just was the same last name as her maiden name was the same maiden name as my mother. And I said, well, it's not a common name. And I said, that's kind of odd. So I reached out and I said, do you have any relatives from Northeast Pennsylvania? And we went back and forth, and I talked to my mom a little bit and found out that our grandfathers were actually brothers.
Oh my gosh. What are the chances?
And we teased the whole thing out and thought, are you kidding me? And we actually, she said some names and went to my mom and said, oh, I see those people all the time. And it was a long lost brother that had moved away. So we never kept contact with them, and just found out that we're cousins. This person who reached out and dropped the reservation for me, and we're actually distant cousins. And since our grandfathers were brothers. And I said, well, that's absolutely wild. And actually couldn't believe it.
That is, again, the cliche here is that it is a small world after all, but it rings true.
Correct.
Absolutely. What are the chances? Right? What are the chances? Honestly, what are the chances you would be, when you consider like all the variables, right, that you would even be on the same cruise, but what are the chances you would go for the same excursion? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now,
right.
Like that takes it to a whole nother level.
It really does. It's just like, are you kidding me? And so, of course, when we got on the ship, we forgot to exchange messenger information when we got on the ship, and we sailed away. And I'm like, I don't know how to contact her. I knew what room she was in, but I'm not going to go over to room and stock and knock on her door.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I ended up just knowing what room she was. So I ended up calling her room, left a voicemail with my chat ID number, and that's how we kind of connected on the ship. So we connected that way. And then on the last night of the sailing, the weather was bad in Castaway, so actually our glass bottom was canceled for the whole day because it was so choppy, the weather. And so we ended up meeting up in the grand lobby that night. And I met her kids, and we took a picture together, and now we're friends on Facebook, and hopefully that can bridge that side of the family that bridge was never there. It's just wild. It's a small world, right?
That is so cool. I love that the family comes together through a chance meeting on a Disney cruise. Honestly, the port adventure never took place. What a cool thing. Now, let me ask you this. So give us, because a lot of folks are curious, because you were just on the Wish, and a lot of us, like me, I have my sign behind us, which you'll see the digital sign. It's counting down to my cruise. It's 131 days. Not that I'm counting.
I love it.
Give us a few highlights from the Wish recently. What's going on?
So we did three nights at Caribbean Beach, and then we did 3 nights on the Wish, and then we took I think it was your advice, and we did the one after this cruise was over. We went back to Walt Disney World and stayed one night Animal Kingdom Lodge, Savannah View, just to chill out before we drove back to Atlanta the next day, and that was great. The 3 nights at Caribbean Beach was awesome. Actually, our magic bands were from 2020, and they still work. So, and the people at Caribbean Beach said, we're finding out that they're lasting longer and longer. So, people this was 4 years. They were 4 years old, and they said, they worked, and they worked just fine in the park.
That's one of the few things that still works from 2020. You see, I tell you, those things work for a long time, but things in 2020, I don't know. Like, that's the year I just kind of leave things behind. But yeah, go ahead.
Right, exactly. Well, it was before 2020. Actually, we were there in late February 2020, so it was before the
Yes.
pandemic. So
Yeah, because I wear my marathon shirt from 2020. People are like, it didn't happen. I'm like, it was in January. It did. Princess happened.
Yeah,
I have Princess shirts too.
Those
yeah.
Magic fans.
Yeah. If we only knew, because that was right. Princess was right
COVID,
before it. Yeah, exactly. Go ahead.
No, the Wish was awesome. We had 14 people. We had 4 balcony rooms, and again took your advice and had the stateroom steward open up the partitions between each. So we had a big party deck for all 4 rooms, and that was a lot of fun. There were 6 kids, and we all just kind of hung out, and kids were able to go back and forth and party. And my buddy and I actually, had a drink the one night pretty late, and that was a lot of fun. So that was pretty cool. The lounges, we loved we spent some time in the Bayou Lounge, and that was cool, listening to some music and having some drinks, especially with the kids in the kids club later in the evening. So we enjoyed that one.
Did you get a beignet? Did you get a beignet in Tiana's?
No, we did not.
Missed opportunity.
It was always after dinner when you're stuffed to the gills.
That's true.
2 entrees and 2 desserts, and so I was like, "There's no room for beignets. We'll get a little alcohol that can fill the gaps in between the food." But no, there was no room for beignets.
My plan, I got them twice, and it was like late afternoon, like before, kind of like 4:00 ish, like when you're we had 5:30 dinner, so I was kind of getting hungry. But I mean, you're never hungry on a cruise. What am I saying? But
that was no, that was smart. That was smart.
They're so good.
I was not impressed with the Hyperspace Lounge. I thought it could have been better, and they could have done more with it.
A lot of people saying that.
Yeah, I don't know if they could have wrapped the whole viewing around the room, kind of like at Space 220, but that's one of the suggestions we had thought about. What else? The trivias were good on the boat. We liked the I'm blanking on the Triton Lounge and the Keg and Compass. Those are cool to hang out with.
I do like Keg and Compass a lot, but that's my jam. Like I love 687 and I love O'Gills. Those are my 2 favorite places on the fantasy or the Dream of the Fantasy too.
Yes.
And that's the equivalent.
What else from the cruise ship?
What about so have you've been on other ships?
We've been on the Dream.
Okay, you've been on the Dream. So what'd you think of, say, the festival, the quick service, like up by the pool, like the Festival of Foods, compared to like the back of the Dream?
Yeah, I enjoyed that because there was a lot of options up there. A lot of the options up there, they were great.
I just wish it was open more. It seems like it's not open enough. Like, but other than when it's open, man, it's the jam. But I wish that thing was open like till midnight. And
I agree. I agree. A lot of those ships, we've been on semis before where they'll have like an 11 p.m. buffet. And not that you need it, but it's
no, you don't need it. Exactly, you do not. Nobody needs a burrito at 11:30 at night. But I mean, you're on a cruise. Do I want one? Absolutely. It's like driving through Taco Bell. Nobody needs to drive through Taco Bell at 11:30. But am I? Yes. I mean, 100%.
Right. Now, and we did have a celebrity. There was a celebrity sighting on our ship, which was a lot of fun. Kind of a big name celebrity. It was Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh, one of my other guests had Neil Patrick. Another guest I was just talking to 2 days ago was on your cruise because they were like, Neil Patrick Harris was on our cruise. I was like, no way.
And he was everywhere.
Yeah,
he was all over the place.
That's what I heard. He wasn't shy. That's what I heard.
Yeah, no, I think for every time I saw him, everybody kind of left him alone, and he was riding the water slides. He was riding the Aquamouse and hanging out. We had the same show time. And everything, so we'd see him afterwards, and nobody bothered him. He said hello, and I told him I was a big fan. He said thanks, and that was my only interaction. But that was pretty cool. You saw him all over the place. That was pretty cool.
That's super cool. That's super cool that people are respectful, right? You say hi and you just move on. Like you don't, like let them vacation, but it's okay to say like, I appreciate you. That's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that was kind of on the kids club was great. We opted for the later dinner and the earlier show, so the kids would be up for the show and the later dinner. And once the kids finished dinner, we sent them over to the kids club, so the adults had a drink and kind of relaxed for a little bit. So that was just a great option to have that kids club option, especially at the end of a later dinner.
So how bad did you want to slide down the slide, too?
Like more than you know.
For real, like head first. I know. But
yeah, like head first, right down the slide. or like if your kid didn't want to go, you pull the whole Christmas Story and you kind of boot them down the slide.
yeah, it's on the bag, like Willy Wonka, the bad egg chute. Bonk.
Yes, yeah, same thing.
I see you, kid.
Right down the slide.
Exactly.
We'll pick you up later. In about 2
Exactly.
hours.
Parents are going to the club. See you.
That's right.
Oh man, I'm so glad you have
No,
fun.
otherwise it was a great sailing. The 14 of us, kind of stuck together a decent amount. They were able to seat all 14 of us at dinner, so that was pretty cool. It was a great trip. That I will say the 3-night is 1 night too short.
Yep.
For the Wish, the 4-night is definitely the way to go. You'd even want to go longer than that, and that's why we really enjoyed that one day back at Animal Kingdom Lodge when the cruise was over. I think we needed that we chilled out, went to the boardwalk, had an awesome meal at Trattoria al Forno, got some ice cream, walked around Beach Club, and so that was a good kind of ending to the trip. It was that almost extra night that you would get on the 4-night sailing. That's what we got back at Animal Kingdom Lodge.
It was your sea day on land is basically what it was.
That's what it was. That's exactly what it was. And I encourage it for everybody when they get off the ship. And I will say, when we were at Caribbean Beach, we had Aruba, Building 52, and that being 100 yards from the Skyliner and a 9-minute ride to Epcot was that's invaluable. That was unbelievable.
In Aruba, you're not too far from the Riv either. If you were going to walk over there,
that's where we got the Skyliner, from the Riv.
Yeah.
And we actually took your advice when we left Epcot the one night. We left a little earlier. Kids were kind of tired because we had driven the whole way from Atlanta the night before. So we took the Skyliner over and got pizza at Primo Piatto, and it was delicious.
I'm vacationing with y'all next time. It might be, I'll bring my wife. It'll be 16. All right, next time. I got to say one more thing because we got to get some, I know a lot of folks trying to get in tonight. I love hearing about it, and I appreciate you calling, Kevin. But here's the thing. Back me up on this. Because I'm excited this summer because we're cruising just our family, just the 4 of us, not even the Gardeners. Like, we always vacation with the Gardeners, but this year they're doing something different. We're doing something different, which is rare, but we're doing it. But cruising is so much fun with a group because there's so many opportunities to do things like tastings, like when you go out at night with your buds. There's something about cruising with your friends or with a larger group that makes it a lot of fun. Do you agree because you had a bigger group? Oop, did I lose you?
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree with you.
Okay.
Just having those 14 together and having the rooms all together, and like I said, when the kids, when dinner was over and the 3 guys on the trip, we all had kind of an old fashioned, usually every night, and what drink are you having? Oh, let's try that one. Let's try this, and let's go play trivia, and just that group atmosphere. That was awesome. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you.
Yeah, I love doing it with friends. Like, if it's almost like it's a good thing for like a reunion. Like when you haven't seen some people that are from different parts of the country, like meet up on a ship and then hang out for 4 or 5 days if you can. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Oh, yeah. And I will say one last thing is when we were in, the kids, they were kind of at each other. We were in Epcot. So the next day, our other group of 5, before everybody else got there, our other group of 5, we all met at Magic Kingdom, and we spent the whole day together at Magic Kingdom. And that was pretty cool, too, to have, like, kids who don't usually see each other too often. That was kind of fun to just kind of make our way around Magic Kingdom and ride Tron, ride Space Mountain. A couple of them did it for the first time. That was a lot of fun as well. It was hard to do to keep everybody together at Magic Kingdom, but that was a lot of fun as well.
Kids like that. I mean, I remember I was like that with my cousins because, like, I only had a sister, so I didn't have any brothers. But then I had 2 boy cousins that were close to my age. So when on rare occasions, like we saw each other at Christmas and Thanksgiving and maybe like Easter. So when we were together, man, it was like on like Donkey Kong. So if we'd have ever gotten to go to a place like Walt Disney World or a cruise or something together, we'd have been, oh my God, that'd have been like, we'd have lost it. We went to Six Flags once together and it was like the greatest day of my life. It was just cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, it was awesome. Well, Kevin, hey, I appreciate the call. We're going to try to get everybody in here, but I appreciate you taking the time and I'm so glad you guys had a wonderful time on the cruise.
It was awesome. Thanks again, Mike.
All right, have an awesome week, and we'll talk to you soon. Don't be a stranger.
Yeah, you got it.
All right, take care, buddy. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All righty, 407-413-9395. And up next, we're headed down to the Sunshine State to, well, the land where all the baseball teams are, Vero Beach. Vero Mike. What's up, Mike?
Hey, Mike. How you doing?
Doing well. I like nice name and better place to be this time of year.
Yeah, hey, we just got back from Princess about an hour ago.
Ah, how was it? I missed being there this year, but had to be at cheerleading championships, which is a ton of fun too.
Well, it was incredible. It was my first ever run, so it was really, really awesome.
So what was better, crossing the finish line or breaking into the runner box and eating the fake cheese?
I just had a fake cheese about 20 minutes ago. I ate my wife's box.
So, by the way, just so you know, today is actually National Tortilla Chip Day. I just saw that on Twitter. So, I mean, if you're eating the fake cheese, you gotta, you're just doing your national duty to celebrate, Tortilla Chip Day or something. Does every day have to be something stupid? Because it does, I guess, in America. But there's probably a fake cheese day. I mean, now that you think about it. But anyway, so. First experience. So give us the highs, the lows, and the highlights. How was it?
It was we just stayed one night at the Contemporary. We had a garden wing room, and we were in Epcot, and they said our room was ready, and we got upgraded to 11th floor on the tower overlooking Bay Lake.
Whoa!
So
wait, how does that work? I need some of your mojo, man. I never get that stuff.
I have no idea, but it was honestly the nicest room with the Incredibles theme. That it was the nicest room we've ever stayed in. It was incredible.
Yeah, I've never done that.
No,
I've never had anything that nice ever. But I do this for a living.
So that was amazing. We got to take the monorail at 4 in the morning over to Epcot for the run, and it was freezing in the morning. I mean, for us, Floridians.
I was just about to say that. Freezing for you, like for us, I'd have been like, this is a great morning for a run. Because it was like 40 something. Yeah.
That was about 48 degrees. So we were freezing, of course.
Perfect.
We're
It's all relative.
But it got warm at the end. At the end of the race, it was hot. So I tossed my sweater. I brought one that I could just discard. But no, it was incredible. It was one of the highest things I've ever done, ever. One of the highest feelings I've ever had. Crossing that finish line, going through Magic Kingdom I think was the best part, and going to the backstage area and seeing Splash Mountain from the back, or Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
Seeing the like parade. I can't talk tonight. I don't know what it is. I even took a nap. Parade floats back there, kind of behind the attraction there, and all that stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool experience.
Yeah, just seeing all the characters, and it was awesome. We were in the very last corral, the E. I mean, we were the last people to go, and it was pretty cool.
What did you think of? What did you think of the pre-race? Like
springtime, so I'm going to be more ready for that for sure.
So what did you think of Mr. Pelkey and Riley and Carissa and the crew that got you, because you were in the last corral, so you got a lot of time with the guys and the ladies there with their shtick there, getting you ready to start the race.
Oh, they were so awesome. We were they kept us just going for an hour and a half. We got to watch them, so they were interviewing everybody and just getting everybody hyped up. So yeah, they were awesome.
I love them. They're true professionals, and they kind of calm the nerves, get you excited, but also get you set the expectations for the day, kind of give you information in a very informal and a way that's not going to make you nervous. They're very comforting, in how they present the information to get you prepared for the exciting day ahead. And they're just so good at what they do. And so I'm glad as a first timer, you felt the same.
Oh, I have a new respect for the guys, all you guys that do the challenges, and oh my gosh, after the half, I felt great. Just my feet were hurting. That was the only thing that, only pain I really felt. But I don't know how you guys do 4 in a row or 3 in a row.
Well, we just don't like we have a thing against toenails, is what it is.
Yeah, it's just so hardcore. I have so much respect for the runners, but I'm hooked. I love it. I worked hard for this year and trained a lot. So.
Hey, we're proud of you though. That's awesome. So you said you're doing springtime coming up, the 10-miler?
I'm doing a 10-miler. So I'm going to be more ready. I got a pretty decent time. I just checked my time. I did 2:44. So I'm 49. So in my age group,
that's fast. That's good. What are you talking about? That's blazing. That's good. That's a good time.
I feel like I could have, we were so bottlenecked and so many people were walking. So,
Right.
I'm not, no excuses, but being in the very last corral, I feel like it definitely
100%.
slowed me down a little bit.
No, 100% out of the back corral. I didn't even think about that. Out of the back corral, that's a super fast time because you're in the soup.
I mean,
You got it. The first mile, you are in the soup, man. Yeah, 100%.
We were definitely the last people to go. It was. So no, it was a blast. Definitely everybody was so positive, and so really really cool. And we actually got to ride Tron, and we got to ride Guardians. So just awesome. 32 hours, five hours of sleep if that. So
See, that's good because
cool.
now you're getting the full experience. Because I don't sleep when I'm down there. It would be a different experience though being a local, right? You stayed there. I mean, you stayed there the night before, which was good. I'm glad you got that.
Right.
But like you're home tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like I always stay the night. I always go home like the day after. I stay the next day to get pictures and so forth, and then fly home that next afternoon. So it is kind of it's kind of wild that you're at home now chilling out. And you ran this morning.
What was funny about it being on the 11th floor in the Contemporary? All night long you hear Chef Mickey's. Told really late at night, so that was pretty funny.
Did you wave your napkin every single time they got going?
No, yeah. Well, we were in bed. I was in bed at 10, and it was still going, Chef Mickey. So you heard everything.
You're like, knock it off. We have races, Mickey. We have races, Mickey. Stop. Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
So I'm so glad you had a
funny.
good time, and you get to do it again. I wish I could be there in April, but I spent all my money on the Disneyland thing and the marathon weekend thing.
Right.
But you only get so much Run Disney
still,
money.
Every second, I'm putting up a vlog on my YouTube channel. It's on Vero Mics on YouTube, so it's an awesome vlog I'm putting together.
All right, encourage everybody to check it out. So one more time. So how can people find it again?
It's on Vero Mics, VeroMikes. It's on YouTube.
Cool.
All positive Disney stuff, beach stuff, mostly Disney, 99% Disney stuff, all my trips. So, but I got some really good footage of my, the first time race. So absolutely incredible. My wife has like 10 or 15 medals, so I finally got a medal. So
Now you got to catch up. That's the deal. I'm competitive, so you got to do dopey and get do dopey. Go to Disneyland and get like 10 in a weekend, and then make it a horse race. Quick, let's go.
Oh, for sure.
I'll help you.
Yeah,
we'll get you.
It was so, and we missed that in the beignets. We waited, but it never opened up next to Tiana's, so we were just a little bit too early for that in that morning.
Yeah, that just means you got to go back. No problem.
Got to go back, of course.
Hey, well, I appreciate it, and congratulations. And we're gonna run a race together soon. I promise you. This is not gonna get down there for spring,
sure.
but it's gonna happen, man. I
We
can't
had
wait to run it.
the best meal the night before at Captain Cook's. We got the meatballs, the coconut rice meatballs. Absolutely incredible.
Oh, that sounds really good. I've never heard of that one because you always hear about the there's that meal with the chips at Captain Cook's. Everybody always gets that.
Oh yeah, the nachos.
The nachos with those special because they're kind of a different chip there. They're like lighter. They're so good. Yeah.
But the meatballs, the coconut meatballs are. They're a staple there forever. Incredible.
Holy smokes. We got to stop doing. We got to stop doing it. Every time we record the show, always like at around 6:00 Central. Oh, it's because it works best with my schedule. But it's always dinner time. And when you guys talk about food, you kill me. That sounds good.
we also ate at Regal Eagle today, so that was pretty awesome.
So now we're talking barbecue. Okay, now you're really. And I have MLB Network on here in the studio muted, so I'm seeing all of Florida, where you are, Vero Beach, and not at all jealous of the spring training weather of all the people in shirt sleeves playing baseball.
Yeah, we're going to try and get to a Mets game Friday, or maybe Friday or Saturday, either a Mets or a Nationals game down in West Palm.
Yeah, living the life, brother. I'm telling you.
Or a Cardinals game that's in Jupiter. That's pretty
right.
close. I grew up in West Palm Beach, so I'm down there to see my mom quite a bit. So.
Cardinals were spring training champions last year, and then the wheels fell off the bus after that. So I don't know what I don't know what I want this year for spring training. Do I want us to lose every game because we already won? So I don't know. I just want to have a decent season. We'll see.
I'm so happy baseball is back.
Same here. My God, please. I'm just so glad I'm watching something because I was in this lull after football ended. I just needed baseball, so I'm a happy man right now. Well, hey, I'm proud of you, Mike, and we'll have to cross paths down there, and we'll check out the vlog. Can't wait to see it, the vlog once it
awesome,
pops
Mike.
up. All right, take care, brother. Good talking to you. Have a great week.
All right, good luck, everybody. Take care.
All right, proud of you, bud. All right, see you later. Bye-bye. All righty, 407-413-9395, 407-413-9395. Love hearing about it. We got a current Wish review right there from last week. Kevin down in Atlanta. Then Mike just ran today. How about that? First time Walt Disney World Run Disney participant. Now we have another call. Hey, who's joining us on the line?
Hi, this is Trisha and Abby.
Hey, speaking of princess, we have two princesses who just ran the I believe the challenges because I saw so many pictures, right?
Yes, we did.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We had a blast.
So you guys did the costumes. I just saw on the Instagram chat that you said you guys are hardy Midwestern women because you're from Indiana. You know how it is. Like 45 though is not cold. Come on now. Like we're 45, like we get below 0 here in the Midwest. Come on now. 45 in February. We can take that. But you guys did have some costumes where it could be a little chilly. I could see it because they looked awesome. So I get it.
It was perfect once we got going.
Exactly. That's it.
It was a little chilly waiting around. And then this morning it was like we got going, it warmed up, but then it dropped about 5 degrees as we were coming out of the Magic Kingdom.
Yep.
And I was like, oh man, I wish I had some of the stuff that I threw away back.
Right. When you come out like back on Cone Alley when it gets cold again. Yes. And that gets me every time. I know, same thing. Like, because by then you're sweaty, right? And then you're kind of, if you're running, you're like, oh man, I'm sweaty,
moist.
cold. Yeah, exactly. You're like, what's going on here? Then the sun comes up and you're all good. You're just like, oh man, I wish I was cold again. Then you're done the rest of the day. No, but enough about that. Give us highlights. And by the way, you guys, I just got to say this real quick. You guys take the best pictures. Like you always like have the, I just don't know where to look. Like, I'm just saying, like you guys always like are always looking right at the camera. You're like right in the perfect like stride. You like have the jumps. Man, if I do that, I look like I'm tripping over a speed bump. I'm getting ready to crash. My pinkies are always like bent weird. I just can't do it. And you guys look like you should be on the front of like Running World magazine. It's crazy. You guys are so good at your pictures. But tell us about the weekend. Give us some highlights.
Well, the main reason we are calling is because the amount of time. Sorry, but it's going past on
Wait.
the amount of times we said.
Hang on. We can't hear. Hang on 1 second. We can't hear you for a second. Hang on. Are you there? We could barely hear you there for a second. Okay, now you're back. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
A bus was just driving right behind us.
Oh, okay.
The amount of times we said over the past couple of days, oh, we should try X because Mike and Scott talked about it. So we ended up trying like the General Tso's chicken salad. We walked around Old Key West at one point, and I was like, oh, I need to see what this community hall is. Scott talks about all the time, and just little things like that where we mentioned you guys so much that it became a joke. I was like, oh, I'm going to suggest this for food, but it's because Mike said he liked it.
Well, I hope at least 28% of the suggestions were worthwhile. That's all I can hope for.
It has been a fabulous weekend from start to finish. So it's been great. It's our first princess. The only other race we had done was the springtime last year. But doing this with Abby has been a dream come true.
I could see the happiness, as a parent, right? I mean, you could just see it in the pictures. And I mean, I know the feeling, right? Because
yes,
as a parent,
I hugged her and cried,
right.
And she pushes me, and I'm about your age, and it's not as easy for me as it is for her. Mm-hmm. And it's just been wonderful to cross that finish line together.
But you guys are both, I mean, I just got to say this, I don't know you guys, but I know you're I consider you like long distance friends because we've met a couple of times and you've been very nice to me in the show. You're very big supporters of the show. And
absolutely.
And you guys have a special relationship and you guys are both very good athletes. I mean, I will say that. And the thing is, be able to, because you guys don't just finish the races, you guys really run the races hard. And it's very cool to see you guys kind of pushing each other, but also enjoying the experience. And I know like what you're saying is that, Abby's at that age where you understand that, opportunities like this are, I hate to say this, but they are fleeting, like, and that's kind of like where I am with Mallory, right? I mean, like this cheerleading experience this past weekend, like you start to get to a point like earlier when they're younger it seems like you have an infinite amount of opportunities for these experiences, right? And once you get to like where I am right now, it's like there's a finite amount of these opportunities, and so I'm starting to see that, and so you treasure these weekends like this, and so I think that's exactly what I could see in your face in all these pictures.
Yes, you're making us both real emotional right now. My acceptance to the college program.
Right, but it's true, and I mean, I want everybody to realize that I mean, this is when you have the opportunity, don't let it get by, don't let it escape.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you heard what she said, but we were standing in line to get pictures at the expo, and she got her acceptance into the Disney College program.
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
She's going to be leaving me for 4 months, and it's made this very emotional because we are super close, and I'm so excited for her, but it is going to be hard to, I'm kind of spoiled. She did college online, so I got her for a little bit of extra time. And I know that they're supposed to spread their wings and fly, but it's going to be hard.
But she's going to thrive, and it's going to. And first of all, Abby, I'm super proud of you because you're chasing your dreams and you're stretching yourself, because I know it's hard to leave home. That is you're going to be 800 miles from home, but you're going to make new friends from all around the world. You're chasing something you love. I know that. But I mean, from your mom's point of view, I get it, because every night. Here's Mike in the Midwest instead of Mike on the Be Our Guest podcast, but here it is. Every night we still miss Paige, but she's chasing her dream in Chicago. Like we say, God, yes. I wish Paige was here in St. Louis. Or we say, we wish Paige was still working for Mizzou, because she was an hour and a half down the road and we could get to her a lot easier to see her if we wanted to, right? Yeah. We could just go down there really easily. And like, we know Mizzou, like we're practically from Columbia. We know that town. But like Chicago feels like it's a world away. It's a whole different universe. It's way big city. It's like New York. Like we go up there, we don't know what we're doing. And so it's one of those things, but she's chasing her dream. She's doing what she's always wanted. She's like living her dream. So, God bless her. But it's hard on us.
I know.
It's like, come home.
It's hard.
I get it. But yeah.
But you know what? It'll give me more excuses to, come down next fall and visit her. And we're hoping to do wine and dine. Hopefully that works out in the next couple of weeks when registration opens. But, anyway, so yes, it's been an awesome weekend, and finding that news out, it was bittersweet, but it's definitely made us appreciate that we were able to do this. So, if anybody out there is listening, and I wasn't a runner until about 5 years ago, neither was she. And I just feel on top of the world tonight. So anybody can do anything if they try.
I agree. I didn't start running till I was in my 40s. A lot of people think, oh, well, I wasn't an athlete in high school. I can't do this. I didn't play any sports in high school. I mean, I did play sports in high school and stuff, but I never took up running until I was in my 40s. So a lot of our listeners are like in their 30s, like, I can't do this. I hated running, but it brings all these relationships, and it brings all these side benefits. It just, it opens doors to friendships and to opportunities and travel. It's really cool.
Yes. And I think a lot of us, I think the runner community is a very, there's a niche, and it's like, you're out. Yes. And then you're with Disney people. It's like, two better combinations can you have besides these race weekends? It's just walking around and everyone's like congratulating each other.
Yes.
About what races they did. If somebody has different, we walked up to someone and she just told all about all her coast to coast medals.
Right.
And, you just don't get that in a normal everyday world. People are just so nice, but it's the run Disney community is amazing.
Yeah, you very rarely find a mean run Disney person, and if you do, you just push them over, because they're usually not very flexible. They're very stiff, and they're easy. After a race, you can knock them over pretty easily.
Yes, definitely. But anyway, we just wanted to call you from down here and let you know what a great weekend we had, and sorry that you didn't get to do this one, but I get it. The money only goes so far.
The money, and I mean, the thing is, I'm trying to keep the schedule open for the, the cheerleading thing, and you just that's why, you mentioned wine and dine, but it's during cheerleading season, so in that Halloween race, oh my God, because you know how much I I burn hot on certain things for a while, right? Disneyland's my jam right now because I'm new to that kind of. And with that the Halloween race out there, then I saw the shirts. I'm like, oh. But I didn't sign up for that because, it's high school football season. Mallory will be cheering. And again, it'll be her junior. All of a sudden, it'll be her junior year. She just started high school. You know, it's like, I can't. You know, it's just those races will be there.
Years are ticking.
Yeah, you know, I'm not getting any younger. Trust me. I mean, it's my knees. Like, my wife cracks up because she's like, I can hear you coming up the steps. You know, it's like it's not you. It's just your knees popping. I'm like, yes, that's true. Like, she's like, eventually you're gonna have to stop. I'm like, yes, I know, but not today. So
not today. Until you can't go anymore, just keep going.
that's
Just
my.
great for Pam. It shows her hearing is still prime.
Abby, you don't even know. She hears stuff that I swear she shouldn't. Like, I'm like, you heard that?
It's a woman thing. A wife. We're very good at
But
it.
then I'll say stuff that she should hear and she doesn't. So yeah, no. Well, anyway, hey, I'm so proud of you guys, and great pictures and just thanks for calling in. I know you're down there having a great time, and Abby, I couldn't be more proud of you, and I hope I get to see you on your program, because there'd be nothing more than to make my day. Because I remember meeting you for the first time sitting under a lunching pad at the Magic Kingdom.
Yep.
That made my day. I still remember that day sitting there with my wife. I was just so excited that somebody came over to say hi to me, and to get to meet you as a cast member would be like such a role reversal, and it would make my day to get a picture with you doing your program. So we got to make it happen. That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. I'm hoping to do like September to January. So if you're down somewhere in that area, I'll try to find you.
Hey, I'll make it happen. There'd be a good excuse to be down there. So, yeah. And you guys enjoy the rest of your time there, and safe travels back to Indy.
We will.
Thanks, Mike.
Have a Mickey bar for me.
All right, will do.
See you guys.
Thanks, Mike.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. 407-413-9395. 407-413-9395. Shout out to Ed, who is over on Instagram. His daughter, I saw on Instagram. I mean, speaking of athletes, his daughter is an amazing athlete, long jumper out in Washington State. I saw a video that, I mean, talk about an athlete, just an amazing long jump. I mean, I just got to shout out his daughter. I spoke to him, but I saw the video on Instagram. It was just an amazing athletic accomplishment. I mean, I'm just so proud that we have so many great things happening in our Be Our Guest podcast family. You could see the joy in Ed's and his wife's face standing with her there after the jump, and just super proud of that. Yeah, I know when your kid does something like that you probably couldn't do as an adult, like you're just like, wow. But I mean, talk about an athlete. I was just like, that is stunning. That is incredible. So shout out to the Ramoses on that. Speaking of, I got to give a congratulations here, because something special happened over Princess Weekend with one of our lizards. And it is for Ashley. Ashley is one of our Be Our Guest podcast lizards, and I got to send a shout out to her because she is a bride to be. She got engaged over the Princess Half Marathon weekend yesterday, and they got engaged over at the Magic Kingdom. So if you are in the Be Our Guest podcast lizards Facebook group with our running team, which has over 3,000 of our runners, check it out. Go swing by there, because she put a great post about how supportive our runners have been and how she joined the Lizards group in 2018, and it got her into running, and it helped her make a lot of friends and so forth, which is the story that we've all had with the Lizards. That it's just like Trisha just said, like, and Abby as well, that the runners are very supportive. They're very kind. They take care of you. Well, she was down there, and her boyfriend popped the question right there next to Cinderella Castle this past weekend, on Saturday. And apparently they didn't have anybody to take the pictures of this. But one of our other lizards that they had never met before, Molly, who's one of my great, who I speak with a lot here, she was there with her husband, and they just stepped in and said, you know what? You need photographers? No problem. We'll take your pictures. And they took the most stunning pictures of Ashley and her soon-to-be husband, her fiance, and they are wonderful. So just go over to the Be Our Guest Podcast Lizards page, and if you need a little romance in your weekend, just swing by there and congratulate the bride and groom to be. And I'm just super excited. Stuff like this happens through our podcast, through the running squad, through the Lizards, through what Mike does with the runners, and everybody. It's just that everybody's kind to each other, and I'm just so happy that this weekend happened for Ashley and everybody that got to go down there and just celebrate each other. So I saw that, and it just made me so happy. lifetime connection right there. And also shout out to Biz Logan, the Logan family. They're on the Skyliner right now, leaving Epcot, and they're tuned in on the Skyliner. So shout out to the Logans. Hopefully you have arrived back at, I don't know where you're going, Caribbean Beach, possibly. Where are we going? Pop Century, Art of Animation, the Riv. Hope you're having a good time. All right, 407-413-9395, 407-413-9395. We have about 10 minutes left in the show, so if you want to give us a call, you can do that, and we can talk Disney. So we have Disney Cruise Line we've talked about. We could talk about the insane crowds. I mean, what did you think about the crowds over President's Day weekend? Are you somebody who travels over those 3-day weekends like MLK weekend in January, President's Day weekend in February? Scott, he does that a lot. He didn't go this year because he's going for spring break in March next month. But he's a big fan of taking off like Friday, going Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and sometimes like taking one more day off and going for 5 days. It's never been an opportunity for me too much because of, again, my wife's a teacher. We're still tied to that teacher schedule at this point, but she's going to be retiring soon. She's probably got a couple more years left of teaching. We were talking about this the other day, and I know this is kind of wild, but we had this discussion of how cool it's going to be once she retires. Since I work from home, you know, I can work anywhere where I have a laptop. Now, I do work a lot during the day because if you know me, if you're one of my guests over at the Magic for Less, you know that you will get an email from me sometimes. I tend to stop working at about 8:30 Central in the evening, and I start working at about 8 o'clock in the morning Central. And I take breaks during the day to eat lunch and so forth, take the dog out and stuff. But as long as I have my laptop and a stable internet connection, I can do my work from anywhere. But the thing is, when she retires, for the first time, we'll be able to travel to Walt Disney World or take a Disney cruise or what have you in September or in October or in May, you know, anytime we want. And so we'll be able to take advantage of, you know, maybe a Halloween on the High Seas cruise, which we've never done, or a very Merry Christmas, very Merry Time cruise, which we've never done. You know, there's so many opportunities. And the thing is, I mean, this is just kind of a selfish thing, but we always go in the summertime and the prices are always a lot higher, obviously, because most people can only travel in the summer because of kids and being out of school and so forth. So you're paying a premium for your vacations. And we've done that our entire lives because either we were both teachers or my wife was just a teacher. But once she retires, you know, we will be able to take maybe a couple smaller trips, but say, you know, in September, and lower crowds, maybe better weather, lower prices. So the opportunities we're kind of excited for. And also in a couple of years, Mallory will be in college. And so it'll just be us. And we don't even, I've never been on a vacation with just my wife other than my honeymoon back in 2006. That's a long time, guys. It's 2024. I wouldn't know what to do. I know a lot of you guys travel without the kids. We've never done that because we typically travel on a Disney cruise or to Walt Disney World, most of the places, or else we're going to an athletic endeavor. And the kids love those things. I mean, the kids love the Disney destinations and they love athletic events, whether it's a sporting event, professional sporting event that we're traveling to, a college football game, or for one of their events, they want to go. So we take them. So it's just one of those things. We were talking about that the other day, that opportunities do come up as life changes, as you go through different parts of your life. And it's wild because I was thinking about it. I tell my wife this, like, it will feel weird. I'll feel like I'm truant or something if I travel the second week of September. Like, I'm not supposed to be doing that. But grown-ups actually do travel the second week of September. Just for my entire life, I've never been allowed to do that because of being a teacher and working in education like my wife has. But how great will that be? Because I've seen the prices for cruises that time of year. Now, of course, I know it is hurricane season. You have concerns there, but I'm willing to take those chances for those kind of prices and those kind of itineraries. So I'm looking forward to that kind of stuff. It's not here yet, but it is something that's a lot closer on the horizon now than it was, 15 years ago. So we'll see. And I know a lot of you have been there, so maybe give me some feedback and some advice on that. Also, shout out to Margie in the live chat on YouTube. Hello. Good to have you. All right, so that's just going to about do it for tonight's show. We thank you for all the great calls. And as always, thank you so much for your support of the podcast. Now, one thing I wanted to bring up here at the end of today's show that I would really, really appreciate, I've been thinking about this a lot. I really want to bring community, even more community, to our podcast. Now, of course, we have community because we have people getting engaged. We have folks that are meeting up for podcast meetups that are just doing tremendous things. Also, shout out Kim Taylor, who took photos. She's a PhotoPass photographer, one of our Be Our Guest podcast lizards, who really did a tremendous job this past weekend. Love seeing you interacting with our lizards. But one thing I want to, and I've been going back and forth with this. We've had it for a few years, but I do think that we can make this work. Back in the day, one of the things that I think really helped us build community with the Be Our Guest podcast was our forums. We had the Be Our Guest podcast forums, and they were awesome. We had a great artist who made our logo. His name was Keith. Still is Keith, and tremendous artist. And he designed our logos. We had an old logo, which I loved, but then the iPod went away, so we kind of got away from that logo because it looked old, but I love it. I still love that logo to this day. So now we have the text logo, which is awesome too. But we had the forums, and the forums were awesome. They were the V-Bulletin forums, and everybody checked in there every day. This was basically social media. This was pre-Twitter taking off, pre-Facebook taking off, and everybody would be there, and everybody would talk to each other, and it was just great. We love the forums. Everybody was on there all the time. And I love that because it really helped everybody get to know each other. We don't have that anymore because everybody's kind of moved their different ways. People have gone to Twitter. People have gone to Mastodon. People have gone to all these other, social media sites. Everybody's kind of segmented. And we've tried Discord, and it's okay, but I want to give it one more shot because now they have threaded messaging, which I think can keep things kind of more organized. So if you wouldn't mind, if you haven't, or if you have, come back and give us a shot. We're going to try to have a thread for all the shows where you can discuss each and every show. If you have feedback for the show, if somebody had a question, you can answer it because you guys have the knowledge base. Just like for that question at the top for Kim, this is where you could leave feedback for Kim, where she could drop in and ask you questions, and you could have the conversation directly with Kim. And you could really, really help somebody have a better vacation directly. Or if you just want to hang out. For one thing, Trisha, up in Wisconsin, does a daily trivia contest on our Discord server. And it's awesome. She does mystery pictures. She does mystery maps. She does Disney movie trivia. Every day she'll post a question there in our Discord, and you can put your answers in. And she tells who's the winners. It's a lot of fun. It's every day. So if you go over there, you're going to have a lot of fun. We have non-Disney channels. We have sports channels. We have what's going on in your corner of the world. We have just the living room where we just talk about life. It's a lot of fun. So I would love to have you come by our Discord channel this week and just hang out with us. We want to build more community. We have a great community, but I want us to get to interact more, and this is going to be virtually. So how do you get to our Discord server? It's very, very simple. Just go to beourguestpodcast.com, scroll down, and there's a link right there on the page. It says join our Discord server. All you do is click on that, and it sounds confusing with the word server. It's just like a little website, just a little place. And there's actually a Discord app that you can download right there on your phone, and it's very easy to use. I'm getting old school, and if things are confusing, I don't use them. But there's a Discord app for iPhone and Android. Super simple, super slick. You pick an avatar. It's very cool. It's very simple. I promise you, it's not hard to use. So if you would join over there and come on over, I'm Be Our Guest Mike on there too. Scotty's there, Ricky's there, Pam's there. We're all there. And you can interact with other listeners live. You can see who's on right now, and you can have live chats with people. It's awesome. So come on over. Just go to beourguestpodcast.com, find the little link. It says join the Discord server. You only got to join it once. And if you download the app and put it on your phone, you just got to click the app and bam, you're right there in the server immediately. And I just leave the tab open in my Google Chrome on my desktop. And if I get a message or something, it just lights up. It's super, super simple. I just leave that tab open on my Chrome. So I'd love to have you join our Discord server so we can just get together more. But I just want to bring that to the table on today's show. All right, we're going to get out of here. And of course, we'll have more shows this week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If you're listening on Thursday, you get a good one tomorrow. I promise you that. But I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for being a part of our podcast community. I know Scott wasn't here tonight, so it wasn't a full show, but I tried to do the best I can. I appreciate the great calls and always appreciate you taking the time to support the Be Our Guest podcast. We are always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. You know the details over there. We're over at themagicforless.com. I would love to help you plan an amazing Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney vacation. No cost to you. And all you got to do is go over there, fill out the quote form. If you put in the field where it says, where did you hear about us? If you put the Be Our Guest podcast, it comes directly to me. I will be your agent. We will work together. And I promise to work very hard to get you a great vacation. Again, no cost to you. So check them out, magicforless.com. Also, our Amazon affiliate link. All you have to do one time, go to beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon, bookmark that, put it on the top of your Chrome there, whatever browser you use. Anytime you shop, just click that. It'll take you right back to Amazon. We get a small commission from Amazon. Costs you exactly the same, and it supports the show. That's an easy way to support the show. It's one click, and it helps little bitty small businesses. So that would really support us as well. And then the big way to support us is Patreon. If you can, it's very simple, $5 a month. It's like the price of a cup of coffee per month. And it really does help support us because, you know, some shows have like 100 episodes, 200 episodes, 300, 400, 500. We have 2,500 episodes in our archive. We have a lot. And it costs money to keep all those shows alive, plus all the equipment, the bandwidth. We do video. We have a lot of costs, and it's no big deal. I take care of that, but it does help us offset those costs. And if that $5 a month really does support everything we do. So if you don't mind, it's just patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. And if you are a patron, by the way, you can add the Patreon feed now to Spotify, and you can actually add it to, I believe, Apple Podcasts app too. You can do that through that. You don't have to just listen through it. Well, I listen through Pocket Cast too on Patreon, so you can do that as well. So that's another way you can listen to the show through Patreon. If you got to have the Patreon, you got to be a patron, but you can listen to it through your Patreon app. So $5 a month, and you can support the show, get the bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. We have fun. This week, I'm going to talk about the great road trip we took to Springfield today and yesterday for the cheerleading championships. We're going to talk about my first trip to Buc-ee's, the big gas station. I do a place called Brahms. That's fun. It was an ice cream place that's based out of Oklahoma, and I got to go to Whataburger again. I had not been there since I got to go for the first time in the Dallas airport on the way home from Disneyland a couple of years ago. Whataburger's awesome. But I'm going to talk about Springfield, Missouri, and just why sometimes it's good to pile in the car and just take a weekend and see your state. And some of the stuff you see on old Route 66, which is basically what we drove from St. Louis to Springfield. So we'll talk about that on Monday, or on Mike in the Midwest on Tuesday. And it's never like anything serious. It's just, that's the show where I just talk about everything non-Disney that's been going on during the week, and stories from my childhood too. So if you want to get onto that, patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. You can follow me on social media at beourguestmike, all the places. And we'll do this again next Sunday night. And we'll get Scott in here too, and we'll take your calls. All right, have a great week. We'll have all the shows for you this week. And just know I appreciate you guys so very much. I truly do. All right, so you guys have a great week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.